Hey, how are you? This is Daniel Rizandi, and today we're going to have an international look on the Curse of Eden. And the photo of the day is me when I was 18 with my sister in Disney World drinking butterbeer. And I thought the mustache was particularly cute. So there you go, there's a picture for you. I wanted to start this video with a quote by Dostoevsky. Most people know Jordan Peterson quotes it a lot, but it's about how even if you're given everything, you still want something more. You still want something different. Humans, they have a nature of just like really just wanting something different. And when things are good, they're willing to just give it up and fuck it up, just so that they can have a little bit of change, a little bit of novelty, a little bit of adventure. And this is actually a study to back that up. You can read about it if you want, but in some, the study suggests that people often prefer even negative stimulation over no stimulation at all, highlighting how uncomfortable boredom and mental stillness can be. And obviously, if you're in a really good situation, it could be that you end up pretty bored because you're not in direct need of anything. So this is how I wanted to start the video. And obviously, this video has a different name, The Curse of Eden. So what do I mean by The Curse of Eden? And I'm going to define it like this. The best places in the world, materially speaking, produce the most promiscuous, problematic, self-centered, entitled, and bitchy little souls on average. There's great people everywhere. I'm just talking about averages here. And these people, in turn, they create a range of self-inflicted or mostly self-inflicted problems. So let's analyze that. First, I wanted to talk about the Karen phenomena. It's obviously gotten really popular online. Where like, oh, the Karen just complains about everything, you know? And, well, when have you seen a non-Western Karen? When was the last time you met a non-Western Karen? I'm going to go beyond. When have you met, when was the last time you met a non-American Karen? Because it's a very, I think it's a very American phenomenon. And even if it's not American, it's definitely Western. There's very few people outside the West, or at least you see very few people outside the West who act in that very bitchy way. And it's in the phenomenon itself that it's bitchy because the person is entitled. You know, the people are entitled, and well, obviously, it's I think more of a woman or middle-aged woman phenomena or young woman phenomena, but there's men who do that as well. And again, why do you think it only happens in the West? I'm gonna just leave that there. Now, I wanted to talk about having a good society. It takes extreme effort to create paradise. You have natural conditions such as natural resources, general weather, the climate, the location, neighboring countries being peaceful, general geography. They play a key role on prosperity. And on top of that, a combination of stable institutions, sound governance, pro-business sentiment, an effort-centered culture, they have to arise so that wherever you live has actually a chance of being a successful place. And that doesn't happen that often in history. I just wanted to point that out. And then we still need two things. We need luck, because anything can go wrong at any time, and time, because it takes a while, even after you have the good initial conditions, for you to get rich in the first place. I mean, America didn't get rich in 1777. You know, it took 100 years until it was one of the richest countries in the world, and it was only really in the 1900s that it truly took off as the global power. And you can say the same about most other powers before the US. It takes time for you to become good. You don't just one day wake up, do a bunch of policy changes, and there you go, you're a perfect country. No, it takes a while for you to get rich. It takes 30 years, not 3, for prosperity to really build up. So I'm going to take California as an example. California is worldwide, has a worldwide recognition for having a good, generally, weather. LA averages more than 3,000 hours of sun or sunny weather, sunshine per year. It's among the top best weather states, best states for one of the best states for jobs, for opportunities. There's Silicon Valley, there's Hollywood, there's a wine valley, there's just everything in California, and it's actually top 5 median incomes as of 2023, 95,000 US dollars. You talk about that with any non-American, like it's already impressive for Americans, but like anything outside the US, you tell them the median, not even average, the median income is 95,000. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? because it's a really high income. And then obviously there's beautiful national parks in California. So it has some of the most beautiful nature in the world. It has one of the best weather in the world, especially if you're in Southern California. It has amazing job opportunities, has some of the highest salaries in the world, and yet we see multiple problems. There's the poop app in San Francisco that got pretty famous. There's a lot of homelessness. There's this phenomena, you know what that is. There's drugs. So there's just a lot of problems in California right now, and if you go to California, you're going to see it. Now, it's obviously really sad because of how amazing of a place it is. Like, it's truly one of the most gorgeous, beautiful, interesting places on earth. But people are leaving. There's net negative migration from California to other U.S. states, and it's not anymore. It's not one of the states that has been growing the quickest anymore. That's more like Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Idaho, Nevada, etc. So you can see that even on a local level in the U.S. overall, too much prosperity can cause a certain amount of problems. And the developed world in general suffers from this because obviously the more developed you are, your obesity rates tend to go up, your mental illness rates tend to go up, your drug problems tend to go up, and sometimes even violent crime. Yeah, you take America, for example, there's so much more violent crime than Southeast Asia, even though America is obviously much more peaceful, much more developed, than Southeast Asia. Even Australia, you're in Australia, there's been quite a few problems. If you go up in certain countries, in certain parts of the country, where there's a lot of theft, people steal cars, that sort of thing. You have to lock your house. And in Southeast Asia, there's nothing like that. You go to Indonesia, everything's just open. You get in, you go into the villa. There's no locks. There's no doors. Sometimes there's no gates, and people are fine. So violent crime. There's just general, like in the West especially, and as countries progress, there's this bitterness, this resentment that people feel because they're entitled, that, oh yeah, it should be even better. They don't even realize that they already live in some of the wealthiest, most prosperous places in the history of the world. And obviously, I don't want to play down, obviously, in part, obesity, mental problems, even drug problems, they can be environmental, circumstantial, and they can end up just happening to you. But there's a lot of elements of individual choice in them. And why are people choosing that? And it's exactly because of what Dostoevsky said in the quote. If you give them a perfect life, they'll fuck it up just so something new happens, just so something interesting happens. And when you don't have meaning, you start looking for it where there isn't any, and you're not going to find it, and you're going to feel depressed and bitter, and you're going to feel resentful. So the way I put it is more or less like this. Successful places, they are eternally destined to be destroyed. We know about the fall of Rome, right? By the very type of people they create. They create weak, unaware, entitled individuals who fail to understand the luck that they possess. You talk to Australians, they have no idea why Australia is a good country. Like, they have no idea. And most importantly, where that luck comes from. So why people will say Australia is the lucky country. Why is Australia the lucky country? Explain to me. Whoa, is it perhaps because you have very decentralized government? Is it perhaps because you have more or less controlled government spending? Is it perhaps because you have one of the best voting systems in the world? Is it perhaps because you have a very sound, in general, very sound and efficient institutions? Is it perhaps because you have one of the best pension systems and retirement systems in the world? People don't know that. And if they don't know that, they don't know where the luck comes from. They're inevitably self-destroy their own culture out of spite without even knowing that they're doing it. And that's the clearest image you see in the West. I lived in Canada, I lived in the UK, I lived in Australia, obviously been to America, been to nearly every country in Europe, and you see that. You see people being spiteful about the very own thing that made their country great and rich and prosperous in the first place. And so that if they keep doing that, they're destined to fall. You can't hate who you are and not destroy yourself in the process. And so I guess the best analogy that we can have is that strong men create good times create weak men create bad times, and then hopefully bad times create strong men. And we're not in the bad times yet, but we're definitely in the weak weak women, by the way. It's not particularly gendered criticism or anything, but we're definitely in the weak men and weak women phase of this cycle because, well, like I said, people don't know how good they have it. People don't know why they have it good, and people don't want to work at all to keep what they have. They don't want to work at all. And a religious take on this is that wealthy places aren't bad, but they challenge you spiritually, because if you live, the more things you have materially, the easier it is for you to not think about God, to not think about religion. And well, there's a passage in the Bible, if you're Christian at all, but even if you aren't, it says it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And it's true. It is really hard. That doesn't mean you should leave wealthy countries immediately. No, that means you should stay and fight, because there's something there, there's institutions there, there's systems there that were put in place that really, really worked. And it's so hard to put those systems in place. It is so much easier, just out of an entropy analogy, it's just so much easier to maintain something that's good than to create something that's good out of nowhere, you know? And so if you're from one of these countries, Australia, Canada, America, Northern Europe, you're called spiritually to fight for that country, to fight for what made that country good in the first place, to maintain those institutions, to reconstruct them if they've been broken, and to go back to your roots, because it's your roots that made you the excellent place that you are. I really hope you succeed. So wrapping up, homelessness, entitlement, drug abuse, mental health crisis, these things appear not despite of wealth, they appear because of wealth. And as happened in the fall, literally or symbolically, depending on whether you believe in it or not, great prosperity, living in literal paradise, without humility and without responsibility, soon turns to despair. So this is the main message of the video. What do you think is the biggest problem in the modern West? I would love to hear that. Let me know in the comments below.